You know that beautiful pink Himalayan salt in your kitchen? Or maybe that fancy flaky sea salt you love to sprinkle on everything. We buy them thinking we're making a healthier choice. But today, we're going to pop the lid off that salt shaker and find out what's really going on.
All right, let's just jump right in. I mean, you see these gourmet salts everywhere. And let's be honest, they look way cooler than the regular stuff. But when it comes down to it, does that pretty color or exotic backstory actually make a difference for your health? That's the big question we're tackling. So, first things first, let's talk about the big idea that's fueling this whole trend. The reason so many of us grab these fancy salts is because we've come to believe they're just healthier, a better, more natural alternative to plain old table salt. And yep, that's the myth right there, plain and simple. It's a statement you've probably heard or maybe even just assumed was true. But is there any real science behind it? Let's actually dig into the facts.
Okay, so when we talk about salt, what's the first thing that comes to mind for most people? Sodium, right? It's easy to think that the cheaper table salt must be packed with more sodium, but let's see how they really compare.
Take a good look at this number, 2,300 milligrams. That is how much sodium is packed into a single teaspoon of salt. Got it? 2,300. Keep that number in your head.
And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter if you're using fancy Himalayan pink salt or just regular table salt. A teaspoon of either one has, you guessed it, about 2,300 milligrams of sodium. They're basically identical. So if you're trying to cut back on sodium, just switching your salt shaker isn't going to do it.
So wait a minute. If it's not about the sodium, then what is the difference? What's the one crucial health detail that really separates these salts? A detail that, honestly, most of us totally miss.
And that brings us to the real star of the show today, iodine. This is the hidden difference, the key mineral that you'll find in one type of salt, but it's often missing from the other.
So what the heck is iodine anyway? Well, it's an essential mineral, which means our bodies absolutely have to have it to work right. But here's the catch. We can't make it ourselves, we have to get it from our diet.
And its most important job? It's all about your thyroid. That's a little gland in your neck, and it uses iodine to make hormones that control, well, pretty much your whole metabolism, your energy levels, you name it. No iodine, no happy thyroid.
And here we go. This is the whole issue right here. Your standard everyday table salt, it's almost always iodized. That means iodine has been added to it. It was a huge public health move decades ago to prevent deficiencies. But all those fancy sea salts and pink salts? Nope. They're usually left in their natural state, which sounds great, but it means they're missing this crucial added nutrient.
So this leads to a pretty important question for you, personally. If you've completely switched over to that non-iodized fancy salt, are you actually getting enough iodine from the rest of your food? It's really worth thinking about.
Now, you absolutely can get iodine from food. Things like seafood, we're talking fish, seaweed, that kind of stuff, are fantastic sources. Dairy, like milk and yogurt, and even eggs have a good amount too. So if you eat a lot of those things, you might be in the clear.
But it's just as important to know where you're not getting it. Obviously, those specialty salts we've been talking about, but also, and this is a big one, most processed foods. The stuff in a box or from a restaurant, they almost always use non-iodized salt. Same goes for a lot of pre-made seasoning blends. It's easy to see how you could fall short.
Okay, I know this might sound a little bit concerning, but don't worry. The good news is making sure you get enough iodine is incredibly simple. And no, you do not have to throw out your favorite pink salt.
It's basically a simple two-step fix. First, next time you're at the store, just grab a container of salt that says iodized right on the label. Second, just mix it up. Use that fancy salt for finishing a dish where you can really see and taste it, but use the iodized salt for your everyday cooking, like when you're boiling water for pasta.
And just like that, you really do get the best of both worlds. You get the great flavor and crunchy texture you love from gourmet salts, while also making sure your body gets the essential iodine it needs to function properly. It's a total win-win. You know, when you uncover the truth about something as basic as salt, it really makes you think, doesn't it? It kind of leaves us with one final thought. What other simple, overlooked health truths might be hiding in plain sight, right there in our own kitchen?